My name is Matimba Mkua on sign language. I'll be joined by Jason Manda and Chola Kauma. Earlier in the day, the Committee on Local Government Accounts did receive submissions from Lavushmanda Town Council that was led by the Council Secretary, Mr. Robert Chisanga, and the Committee on Local Government Accounts also received submissions from Pika Town Council that was led by the Council Secretary, Mr. Samuel Msenga, and they were making their submissions on the consideration of the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund CDF for the financial year ended 31st December 2023. So just now we take you to the Committee on Local Government Accounts as the committee will be receiving submissions from Nakonde Town Council. Keep watching Parliament Television. Good afternoon.
This committee equally protected by the same Cap 12. However, if you willfully choose to give false information or mislead this committee, the same Cap 12 can be used against you. It is our belief that you are not going to give false information, but give information that is going to help us come up with a report that shall be presented in the main house. With that said, once again, I would like to welcome you and say, remain calm. The role of this committee is not to change what was already established. These queries are taking place in your area. Our role is just to seek clarifications as to why you were failing or we were succeeding in the operations insofar as CDF is concerned. With that said, I would like to ask you, Council Secretary, to introduce yourselves individually by giving your names and positions.
Thank you very much, Chair, and good afternoon, members. My name is Mutakela Kayonde. I'm the Council Secretary, and I have with me a team. Chair, I should do quick to mention that the internal auditor is not with us. He traveled safely into Lusaka, but between the station and home, he was involved in a road accident. He's stable though, but he's unable to attend.
We are sorry for that.
I'll ask my colleagues to also introduce themselves.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, honorable members. Good afternoon, permanent witnesses. My name is Victor Chilembo. I'm the council advocate for the council appearing before this honorable committee. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, Chair, and good afternoon, honorable members. I am Ozias Mwanza, the Assistant Director Engineering, Nakonde Town Council.
Okay, so your mics should be off every time you finish talking.
Good afternoon, Chair, and good afternoon, honorable members of the committee. My name is Ronald Mushinka. I'm the Director Planning. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members of the committee. Good afternoon, permanent witnesses. Muko Shamsonda is my name, the current Director of Finance for Nakonde Town Council. Okay. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Hara, the former Director of Finance.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members of Parliament. Good afternoon, permanent witnesses. My name is Chewe Kangwa. I was the Assistant Director Engineering for Nakonde Town Council during the financial year under review.
Thank you, and you're welcome.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joseph Kanungo. I was the procurement officer in the year under review.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members. I'm Kaluba Wezi, the Assistant Procurement Officer. Thank you.
You're welcome. Permanent witnesses?
Thank you so much, Chair, and good afternoon to you and the Honorable Committee. Good afternoon, Nakonde Council. My name is Makrob Maki, the Acting Director in the Office of the Auditor General, Mchinga Province.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members of the committee. Good afternoon, NAKONDE Town Council. My name is Akepson Mulenda, the Acting Assistant Director from Mchinga Province.
Good afternoon. I'm Lovinda Sinyani from the Planning and Research Directorate in the Office of the Auditor General. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mombasaka from the Ministry of Finance and National Planning, Office of the Accountant General. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair and honorable members of Parliament. NAKONDE, good afternoon. My name is Jeffan Siame from the Office of Control of Internal Audit, Ministry of Finance.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good afternoon to you once more and the honorable members of your committee. NAKONDE Town Council, you are welcome to this session. Kazinga Kennedy from Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Beatrice Kamangala, coming from Local Government Service Commission. Thank you.
We can now have the clerk's office.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Namwenga Simaloli from the clerk's office.
Much obliged, Chairperson. Good afternoon to you and other honorable members. CS and your team, good afternoon. I am Chidimboi Elijah from the Office of the Clerk of National Assembly and our witness. You're welcome.
Thank you, Chair, and good afternoon. Emmanuel Walia from the Office of the Clerk.
Honorable Member for Busakiri.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable colleagues. Afternoon, Secretariat, permanent witnesses, CS and your team from NAKONDE. Good afternoon and welcome to the committee. Kalobo Pavyuma is my name. I represent the good people of Busakiri constituency, Kitwe, in the Copper Belt. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Member for Mangango. Oh, can I have the Director of Engineering? The Director.
Thank you,
our
thank
Director of Engineering, National Assembly. You can introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, NAKONDE, and welcome to our Committee on Local Government Accounts. I'm Honorable Dr. Aaron Mwanza, Member of Parliament for Kaumbwe constituency in Petauke District of the Eastern Province. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Mwanza. We can now have also our learned Member of Parliament, teacher for Mangango.
Thank you so much, Chair. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, NAKONDE Town Council. Good afternoon, our permanent witnesses, Secretariat. Afternoon, our viewers and the listeners out there. I'm Mwene Luhamba, Member of Parliament for Mangango. Thank you.
We can have our seasoned civic leader from Siavonga.
Chairperson, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, everyone. NAKONDE Town Council, my name is Mulunda Darius, Member of Parliament for Siavonga constituency. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do we have Mitete? He's not there. I'm also from the local government fraternity. My name is Mishek Mtetwa Nyambose. I represent the wonderful people of Chasefu constituency in Eastern Province of Zambia, and I'm Committee Council Secretary. Delve into the details. I would like to appeal to you, if you have any addendum, submit it. Any paper that you think can support your submission is welcome. You can send it over. As you make addendum, and we need copies equal to the number of honorable members here. If the copy is 1, you can give our secretariat next time. You should make copies equal to these honorable members of the committee. Always make 10 copies so that each one is able to follow through as you make presentation. So because we are a very good committee and very tolerant, we are going to accept that one. Then our secretariat will spend stationary courtesy of Madam Speaker to help NAKONDE. So with that said, we want to ask you to take us through your report.
Thank you very much, Chair, and apologies. We've taken note, Chair, that we always need to make the 10 copies even for the addendum. Chair, even as I start the presentation, I just want to bring to your attention that appendix, which is on appendix 1, which is on pages 001, is actually supposed to be on appendix 2. So just that change. Appendix, the one we've marked as appendix 1 should be on appendix 2, the one that is on page 001. Chair, with that, if I may start. The first one, Chair, is on the specific audit findings, delayed completion of works, construction of an office block at Donald Suwale Technical Secondary School, phase 2. Chair, the cause of query under management response, delayed completion of the project. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and further acknowledges the delay in the implementation of the project. However, management wishes to state that the delay was attributed to the non-performance of the contractor, who, despite several engagements, as depicted in the letters attached, did not comply. Action taken, Chair, is management further wishes to state that this contract has been terminated due to non-performance as provided for in the contract conditions clause 15.2b and C. Further, management has since commenced arbitration pursuant to clause 15.2c. And additionally, Chair, management has served the contractor with a demand notice requesting the contractor to pay back the sum of 79,613 kwacha 53 ngwe as per final account prepared. Chair, this is given under appendix 1. Management has commenced the process of procuring a new contractor for completion of the project. Remedial measures, management shall ensure that projects are completed on time with a specified quality and safeguarding of public funds by ensuring that the completion periods of the projects are reasonably set in liaison with the contractors. 2, multi-sectorial approach in project monitoring and inspection by involving other technical personnel from other government ministries. This is in order to detect the non-performance at earliest stages. B, delayed completion of works, construction of an office block at New Waitwika Secondary School, phase 2. Chair, on the third page, management response, cause of query, delayed completion of the project. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and further acknowledges the delay in the implementation of the project. However, management wishes to state that the delay was attributed to non-performance by the contractor, who, despite several engagements as depicted in the letters attached, did not comply. Management further wishes to state that this contract has been terminated due to non-performance as provided for in the contract conditions clause 15.2b and c. Action taken, management has served the contractor with a demand notice requesting the contractor to pay back the sum of 54,005 kwacha 40 ngwe as per final account prepared. Further, management has since commenced arbitration pursuant to clause 22 of the contract and has also commenced the process of procuring a new contractor for the completion of the project. This, Chair, is exhibited under appendix 2. Remedial measures, management shall ensure that projects are completed on time with a specified quality and safeguarding of public funds by ensuring that 1, completion periods of the projects are reasonably set in liaison with contractors. 2, multi-sectorial approach in project monitoring and inspection by involving other technical personnel from other government ministries. This is in order to detect the non-performance at earliest stage. 3, capacity building for local contractors in district is enhanced. C, delayed completion of works, completion of 1/2 CRB at Ilendela School. Chair, on page 4, management response, cause of query is delayed completion of the project. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and further acknowledges the delay in implementation of the project. However, management wishes to state that the delay was attributed to the fact that this project was being undertaken using the labor-based procurement system. Action taken: management terminated the labor-based contract and completed the project using force account. Chair, there's evidence there under Appendix 3. Remedial measures: management shall ensure that all projects are done on full contract basis. D, delayed completion of works, construction of health post at Inteko. Chair, on page 5, management response, cause of query is delayed completion of the project, construction of health post at Inteko. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and further acknowledges the delay in the implementation of the project. However, management wishes to state that the delay was attributed to additional works which were issued into the contractor, which is the second septic tank. Action taken: management requested for an acceleration plan from the contractor and complied and has since completed the project. Chair, this project has since been handed over even and currently under use. Appendix 4, Chair, shows is attached for his evidence. Remedial measures: management shall ensure that projects are completed on time by continuing with capacity building for our local contractors in the district. E, delayed completion of works, completion of 1/2 classroom block at Chiwale Primary School. Chair, on page 6, management response, cause of query, delayed completion of project 1/2 CRB at Chiwale. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings. However, it must be stated that the contract sum was 151,994, of which 114,994 was allocated to the purchase of materials of the project, and 37,000 was allocated to the labor costs. During the time of audit, 114,994,000 was paid out to the supplier of the materials, while the 29,000 was paid to the labor contractor, leaving a balance of 8,000 kwacha. The first contractor abandoned the site for more than 28 days, thereby breaching the conditions of the contract. Therefore, a second contractor was engaged, who has since completed the project. Action taken: the second labor-based contractor was engaged to complete the remaining works, and the project is now complete. Chair, there's evidence under Appendix 5. Remedial measures: management shall ensure that all projects are done on full contract basis. Page 7, Chair, under F, delayed completion of works, construction of maternity annex at Nyela Health Post. Management response, cause of query, delayed completion of works, construction of maternity annex at Nyela Health Post. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and further acknowledges the delay in the implementation of the project. However, management wishes to state that the delay was attributed to the non-performance of the contractor, who, despite several engagements as depicted in the letters attached, did not comply. Management further wishes to state that this contract has been terminated due to non-performance as provided for under the contract conditions clause 15.2.2b and c. Action taken, management terminated the project and has since commenced the process of requesting the additional funding to ensure completion is achieved. The Chair, there is Appendix 6, remedial measures on page 8. Management shall ensure that projects are completed on time with a specified quality and safeguarding of public funds by ensuring that multi-sectorial approach in project monitoring and inspection by involving other technical personnel from other government ministries. This is in order to detect non-performance at the earliest stage. 2, capacity building of local contractors in the district is enhanced. Chair G, delayed completion of works, construction of 1x2 classroom block at Musani Community School. Chair, management response, cause of query is delayed completion of the construction of 1x2 classroom block at Musani Community School. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings. However, management wishes to clarify that during the time of audit, payments to 3635.50. Management wishes to state that the delay is attributed to the fact that the site became inaccessible during the rainy season. Further, the poor performance of the local contractor, whom, despite repeated engagements, did not comply. Chair, on page 9, action taken. Management has since terminated the contract pursuant to clause 15.2b and c for non-performance, and final account for the project has been prepared. Chair, this is the addendum that we have just circulated. I should mention, Chair, that the project has since been completed, and we've attached the pictures given. Remedial measures, management shall ensure that projects of this nature are well planned for and prioritized during the dry season. H, delayed completion of works, construction of 1x3 science laboratory at Shem Secondary School. Management response, cause of query is delayed completion, construction of 1x3 science laboratory at Shem Secondary School. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and further acknowledges the delay in the implementation of the project. However, management wishes to state that the delay was attributed to the fact that site became inaccessible during the rain season. Action taken, management requested the contractor for an acceleration plan, and the project has since been completed. Chair, there is Appendix 8 giving the situation. Remedial measures, management shall ensure that projects of this nature are well planned for and prioritized during the dry season. I, construction of an ablution block at Ntindi Primary School. Excuse me. Management response, cause of query is delayed completion, construction of an ablution block at Ntindi Primary School. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and further acknowledges the delay in the implementation of the project. However, management wishes to state that the delay was attributed to inadequate capacity by the local contractor to complete the project in time. Action taken, management requested for an acceleration plan from the contractor who complied. The works have since been completed and the facility handed over to the school. Chair, there is Appendix 9 for your reference. Remedial measures, management shall ensure that projects are completed on time by conducting value engineering processes of looking at alternative materials yielding the same expected results on the specified materials for the projects. This is in order to specify the materials are readily available in the district. 2, continuing with the capacity building for our local contractors in the district. J, rehabilitation of 14-kilometer road in Luchinde Ward. Cause of query, delayed completion, rehabilitation of 14-kilometer road in Luchinde Ward. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings. Management wishes to state that the delay was attributed to the fact that earthworks are difficult to undertake during the rain season, and also that the delay in the culvert installation was attributed to the high water levels, the Dambo, which is in the Dambo area, at the points of installation. Chair, page 12, therefore making it difficult for the works to be undertaken, which have since been done. Action taken, the earthworks for the 14-kilometer and installation of 2 culverts have since been completed. Chair, we have Appendix 10 giving for your reference. Remedial measures, management shall ensure that projects of this nature are well planned for and prioritized during the dry season. K, supply, delivery and installation of solar-powered submersible water pump, water tank, security lights at Mukalizi Primary School and Tantumbila Secondary School. Chair, on page 13, management response, cause of query, delayed completion, supply, delivery and installation of solar-powered submersible water pump, water tank, security lights at Mkalizi Primary School and Tantubila Secondary School. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and further acknowledges the delay in the implementation of the project. However, management wishes to state that the delay was attributed to the non-performance of the contractor, who, despite several engagements as depicted in the letters attached, did not comply. Management further wishes to state that this contract has been terminated due to non-performance as provided for in the contract conditions, clause 15.2b and c. Action taken, management issued warning letters as well as demanded for an acceleration plan for the project. Management has since terminated the contract and served the contractor with a demand notice requesting the contractor to pay back a sum of 25,604 kwacha 75 ngwe as per final account prepared. Following the contractor's failure to pay back the money according to the demand notice, management has since commenced arbitration pursuant to clause 20.2 of the contract. Management further wishes to state that that further funding for this project was approved under 2025 CDF. Chair, there is Appendix 11 for your reference. Remedial measures. Management shall ensure that projects are completed in time with a specified quality by ensuring that multi-sectoral approach in project management by involving other technical personnel from other government ministries. 2, capacity building of our local contractors in the district is enhanced. 3, community sensitization aimed at preventing vandalism of public infrastructure. Supply, delivery and installation of solar-powered submersible water pump, water tank, security lights at Musanza and Nakonde district hospitals. Management response, cause of query is delayed completion, supply, delivery and installation of solar-powered submersible water pump, Musanza and Nakonde district hospital. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and further acknowledges the delay in the implementation of the project. However, management wishes to state that the delay was attributed to the non-performance by the contractor, who, despite several engagements as depicted in the letters attached, did not comply. Chair, on page 15, management further wishes to state that this contract has been terminated due to non-performance as provided for in the contract conditions, clause 15.2b and c. Action taken, management issued warning letters as well as demanded for an acceleration plan for the project. Management has since terminated the contract and saved the contractor with the demand notice requesting the contractor to pay back 38,510 0.95 ngwem for Msanza and 30,843.53 ngwe for Nakonde District Hospital respectively, coming to the sum of 69,341.48 as per final account prepared. Following the contractor's failure to pay back the money according to the demand notice, management has commenced arbitration pursuant to clause 20.2 of the contract. Additionally, management has commenced the process of procuring a new contractor for the completion of the project. Chair, we have references and Appendix 12. Remedial measures: management shall ensure that projects are completed in time with a specified quality by ensuring that multi-sectorial approach in the project management by involving other technical personnel from other government ministries. 2. Capacity building of local contractors in the district is enhanced. Irregular use of letters of transfer to process payments. Management response and the cause of query: irregular use of letters of transfer to process payments. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and would like to clarify that several requests have been made to the Ministry of Finance to request for EFTA forms from the strong room, but have not been issued any as they are out of stock. Action taken: management has since continued to make requests for the EFTA forms from the Ministry of Finance. Chair, we have Appendix 13 referring to the same. Remedial measures: management to ensure that letters of transfers are avoided when processing payments once EFTA forms are issued by the Ministry of Finance. Irregular withdrawal of cash. Management response, cause of query: irregular cash withdrawals. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings. Action taken: management has since put an end to cash withdrawals for payments of allowances to officers. Management has since enhanced its internet banking payment modes and is able to make transactions directly to mobile money accounts. Management has also resolved that all external committee members and members of the community open both bank and mobile money accounts so that allowances should be paid directly. Chair, page 17, remedial measures: management to ensure that no cash withdrawals are done or irregular use of fuel. Management response, cause of query is irregular withdrawal of fuel by council chairperson. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wishes to clarify that the drawings of fuel cited by the auditors was indeed drawn by the vehicle attached to the council chairperson's office, which was being used for monitoring of projects, handover of projects, and furthermore it should also be noted that some of the monitoring programs involved combined visits by heads of government departments and provincial officials who came to monitor projects, including the provincial PS, the DC, the PROGO, who cannot be accommodated in one vehicle, as well as during the time when the monitors when he monitors projects. Action taken: the local authority has received a monitoring utility vehicle which is being used to monitor CDF related activities, hence reducing on the reliability on the vehicle attached to the council chairperson's office. Chair, we have Appendix 15 as a reference. Remedial measures: management shall continue to ensure that only appropriate monitoring vehicles are used to monitor CDF related activities. Chair, on page 18, cross-cutting issues. It's Appendix 1, budget, funding and expenditure. There's a table, Chair, there, but management response, cause of query is funds retained at source. Management acknowledges the auditor's observation. The 2023 CDF budgetary allocation was pegged at 28,313,902.01, and the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development retained 936,751.08 for the construction of the Chief's Palace, and 115,681.01 was retained as insurance costs for the CDF monitoring vehicle. Therefore, total retained funds stood at 1,052,432.09. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the funds indeed were retained at source. Chair, we could refer to Appendix 16A in this regard. Chair, on page 19, Appendix 1.1, retained for Chief's Palaces. Management response, cause of query is funds retained for the construction of the Chief's Palaces. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings, Chair, observations, and wishes to state that 936,751.08 was retained by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development for the construction of Chieftainess Waitwika's Palace. This project was centrally procured and is being implemented by the Zambia Correctional Services. Action taken. The Council has been closely monitoring the implementation of this project as supervisors, working in close collaboration with the engineers at Muchinga Provincial Administration. Chair, we have Appendix 16 referring to the same as attached. Remedial measures. Management shall continue to closely monitor and supervise progress of the project to ensure quality works. Chair, on page 20, it's Appendix 2, total unspent funds. Management response, cause of query is failure to spend funds amounting to 21,697,640 under the 2022 and 2023 CDF funding. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's findings. The Council experienced low uptake of the 2022-2023 funding in all the three components, with the 18,637,097 from 2022 carried forward to 2023 due to delayed approvals from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, which ultimately affected the implementation of activities. Action taken. Management has since utilized the outstanding amount on various CDF components that were due for payment as per attached as per need. The current balance in the CDF account as per bank statement stands at 1,485 kwacha 33 ngwem. Chair, we have Appendix 17 being referred to. Remedial measures. Management shall continue to proactively monitor and supervise progress of all projects to ensure quality works and timely completion. Chair, page 21, Appendix 2.1, and unspent funds, community projects. Management response, cause of query, is failure to spend funds amounting to 10,867,692 for community projects. Management acknowledges the auditor's observations and wishes to state that that expenditure for community projects as at 31st December 2023 stood at 12,113,587.67, leaving a balance of 2,648,498 as shown below. Action taken. The balance for the community projects as at 31st December 2023 were funds committed to various projects, and funds have since been utilized. Chair, we have Appendix 18 being referred to. Remedial measures. Management shall continue to proactively monitor and supervise projects of all projects to ensure quality works and timely completion. Chair, page 22, and spent funds, empowerment grants. Management response, cause of query, is over expenditure of 123,129 in empowerment grants. Management acknowledges the auditor's observations. However, it should be noted that the 2023 empowerment grant had a budgetary allocation of 2,151,856.55 and did not include 60,000 kwacha carried over from the 2022 empowerment grant for 3 uncollected checks by beneficiaries, bringing the total amount available to 2,211,856.55, out of which 2,195,000 was spent on 100 beneficiaries. Chair, we have a table given below. Action taken: management has since disbursed the funds to groups that were approved under 2024 empowerment grants component. Chair, we have Appendix 19 as reference. Remedial measures: management shall ensure that funds are utilized within specific financial year to avoid misstatements. Chair, on page 23, Appendix 2.4, secondary boarding and skills development bursaries. Management response, cause of query, and spent funds amounting to 4,007,688 for 2022-2023 secondary school boarding and skills development bursaries. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings regarding unspent funds under the bursaries component for 2022-2023 CDAF. Management wishes to report that local authority experienced low uptake levels in the bursaries component for the years 2022-2023 despite vigorous community sensitization and engagement meetings. This challenge was further worsened by inadequate skills development training institutions and secondary boarding schools in the district. However, 2022-2023 expenditure stood at 2,144,312 as depicted on the ledgers. Action taken: management through appropriate committees made a variation of the bursary funds to community projects so as to fully utilize the funds. Further, management intensified on sensitization program on the bursary component and also extended invitations to some government training institutions to consider coming to the district to sell their courses and recruit from the district in order to increase the uptake on the bursaries component. Management has since written to the ministry requesting disbursement of unspent funds from 2024 CDF bursaries components in order to respond to increased demand. Chair, we have Appendix 20. Remedial measures: management shall ensure that funds are utilized within a specific financial year through the continued community sensitization. Further, the local authority has, through its development partners, commenced the process of establishing a skills development center within NAKONDE district in order to enhance uptake of the bursary component. Chair, still on page 24, unspent funds administrative costs. Cause of query: over expenditure of 189,005 kwacha for administrative cost. 25, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's findings. Is attributed to the number of unplanned meetings and other activities that were aligned to be supported by the administrative components, such as various consultative meetings and other monitoring activities. The long stretch between NAKONDE and Lusaka or Copper Belt provinces where most activities happened also entail substantial amounts of funds being utilized. Action taken. Management wishes to inform the committee and acknowledges the over expenditure on CDF administrative component and will ensure that it will endeavor to stick strictly to budget allocations and the ledgers therein, and management has since carried forward the deficit, which is a negative balance, to the following fiscal year and reconciled records in the component. There is here Appendix 21 for reference. Remedial measures. Management shall ensure that it adheres to spend within the allocated funds for a specific financial year. Still on page 25, Chair, Appendix 3, 2022, community projects. Management response. Cause of query, delayed completion of projects, 2022 CDF. Action taken. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings. However, it should be noted that that 19 of the projects have since been completed, and the remaining 6 of the cited projects have been terminated due to non-performance by the contractors. Chair, we have references on Appendix 22 and also Appendix 1 to 7, 11, and 12. Remedial measures. Management shall ensure projects are completed within the stipulated or assigned time frame. Still on page 26, Chair, Appendix 4, 2023, community projects. Management response, delayed completion of the community projects, 2023 CDF. Action taken. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings. However, out of the 2 works in progress projects cited, one of the running projects was centrally procured and being managed by Muchinga Province Administration. Chair, on page 27, the other project has since been terminated. The remaining project is still outstanding as the Rural Electrification Authority is yet to give response to the local authority on its status. Chair, we have also attached Appendix 23 for reference. Also, we can refer to Appendix 16. Remedial measure. Management shall ensure projects are completed within stipulated time frame. Appendix 5, analysis of performance, youth, women, and community grants. Management response, cause of query, over expenditure of 44,200 in empowerment grants. Management acknowledges the auditor's observations. However, it should be noted that the 2023 empowerment grant had an allocation of 2,151,856.55 and 2,195,000 was spent on 100 beneficiaries. The excess funds, which is negative 43,143.45 on top of the allocation, was as a result of funds carried over from the 2022 from the beneficiaries who did not manage to get the grant in 2022 due to non-response despite several attempts by Secretariat. The 3 groups who were non-responsive, Mwenya Gender, Chatali Cooperative, and Nankolongo Cooperative, all of which were allocated 20,000 each, bringing the total to 60,000. Chair, on page 28, attached copies of the letters to beneficiaries, minutes to reallocate the funds to new groups in 2023, as well as copies of uncollected checks by 3 groups in the 2022 funding year. Action taken. Management carried forward the uncollected funds to 2023 and has since paid all the grant beneficiaries for 2023. Chair, we have Appendix 19 as a reference on the empowerment grants. Remedial measures. Management shall ensure that funds are utilized within a specific financial year to avoid misstatements. Chair, on page 29, Appendix 6, change of projects without approval. Management response, cause of query, change of projects without approval. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wishes to indicate that some organized groups changed projects without prior approval from the authorities. Despite vigorous sensitization, some beneficiaries still carried a notion that grants had no recourse when misapplied. Action taken, management wrote to the affected groups to normalize the changes, and the affected groups have since adhered to procedure. Chair, we have reference 24, Appendix 24 being referred to. Also referred to Appendix 15 for the monitoring report. In this regard, remedial measures, management shall continue to sensitize beneficiaries on grant procedures and provide financial literacy training. Chair, Appendix 7, failure to account for funds. Cause of query, failure to account for funds. Action taken, management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wishes to inform the committee that it has since requested the affected groups to provide documentation and records that show how the funds were utilized. This includes detailed reports, receipts, invoices, and any other relevant documentation that can account for the disbursed funds. Referred to Appendix 25, Chair. Also referred to Appendix 15 for the monitoring report. Remedial measure, management shall ensure to conduct continuous sensitization and strengthen monitoring in communities in conjunction with ward development committees on the prudent utilization of the grant funds. Chair, on page 31, Appendix 8, performance analysis, soft loans. Management response, cause of query, is over expenditure of 73,992 in the empowerment loans component. Management acknowledges the auditor's observations and wishes to state that the total allocation for 2023 CDF for the soft loans component was pegged at 3,227,784.83, and approvals were based on this amount, which led to the disbursement of 3,181,800 to 18 approved beneficiaries, leaving the balance of 45,984.83 of the total allocation. Action taken, management has since reconciled records and statements. Chair, we have Appendix 26 being referred to. Remedial measures, management shall ensure that the funds are utilized within specific financial year and within allocated budget. Chair, on page 32, Appendix 9, failure to recover loans. Management response, cause of query is failure to recover loans. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wishes to state that loan recoveries have been a challenge as interactions with the beneficiaries viewed that their businesses were gravely affected by the erratic rainfall in the 2023-2024 season, as well as load shedding. Consequently, the pace at which businesses have been moving have been very slow, thereby affecting loan repayments. Action taken, management has since been closely monitoring, engaging and interacting with the beneficiaries and encouraging them to prioritize loan repayments whenever they had any amount to pave way for more other beneficiaries to access the funds. Chair, we have reference under Appendix 23. Remedial measures, management shall continue to closely monitor and send reminders to beneficiaries. Chair, on page 33, Appendix 10, secondary boarding and skills development bursaries. management response. Cause of query is low number of graduates. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings. However, it should be noted that low number of graduates recorded is because most students were continuing or returning in returning classes. Furthermore, the low number of graduates is also as a result of the low uptake in the bursaries component due to the absence of a TVETA accredited institution and adequate secondary boarding schools in the district. Action taken, management intensified on sensitization programs on the bursary component and also extended invitations to some government training institutions to consider coming to NAKONDE to sell their courses and recruit from the district. Further, management through appropriate committees made evaluation of bursary funds to community projects so as to fully utilize the funds. Chair, we have Appendix 28. Chair, on page 34, remedial measures, management shall ensure that funds are utilized within a specific financial year through continued community sensitization. Further, the local authority has, through its development partners, commenced the process of establishing a skills development center within NAKONDE district in order to enhance uptake of the bursary component. Appendix 13, analysis of performance of desks. Cause of query, 100% performance on desks procurement. Action taken, management wishes to report that all the 4,000 desks that were planned to be procured under the 2023 CDF were successfully delivered to various schools in the district. Chair, we have Appendix 29 referred to. Remedial measures, management shall continue to ensure quality works for all projects and that all projects are completed within stipulated time frame. Appendix 17, misappropriation of grants. Management response, cause of query is misappropriation of grants. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wishes to indicate that the cited organized groups failed to account on how the funds were utilized. It should be noted that despite sensitization meetings and workshops conducted for beneficiaries, organized groups have a notion that grant funds carry no conditions, as such can be used in any way the group deem fit. Action taken, management wishes to report that the affected groups were instructed to provide justification and evidence for their actions, further to which appropriate legal actions may be taken in order to recover the funds and hold those responsible accountable. Management has further introduced a commitment form for beneficiaries to commit to the prudent use of the funds, further to which they may result in appropriate legal actions, although there may be need to revise and strengthen the punitive measures in the legal framework governing the CDF, especially on the grants. Chair. Refer to Appendix 30, also refer to Appendix 15 for the monitoring reports. Remedial measures, management shall ensure to conduct continuous sensitization and strengthen monitoring in communities through ward development committees on the prudent utilization of the grant funds. Chair, page 36, I wish Chair to submit my clarification to the cited queries and assurance to the committee that remedial measures to the queries for NAKONDE Town Council shall be adhered to. Thank you very much, Chair. I submit.
Thank you so much for that presentation, almost 1 hour and some minutes, showing you that yes, so many queries. It's now time for honorable members to make interventions. Honorable Paviuma.
Thank you, Chair. With your indulgence, Chair, I take the committee to page 15, 16, 17. The three queries, Chair, are queries that are related to non-adherence to the rules and the regulations.
Let's go to page 15, starting from 15.
Yes. Query number M. Irregular use of letters of transfer to process payments. Here, Chair, contrary to the circular number 1 of 2020, Financial Management Circular, the Council processed 9 payments in amounts totaling to 69,552 using letters of transfer, contrary to the law. And on query O on page 16, there is also irregular withdrawal of cash, where also they withdrew cash on 2 transactions amounting to 29,926, contravening section 3.26 of circular number 1 of 2022. Then on page 17, Chair, on query O, irregular use of fuel. Here also they contravened the government minute number MLGH/71/693 dated 15th October 2012, which says that no officer entitled to monthly fuel allowance shall draw fuel from the council account. So my first question, Chair, is to CS and his team. Why should you abrogate the rules and the regulations with impunity when you know that these laid down procedures are meant to control administrative actions? Even the position that you have is an establishment of the law. That's why there are these rules and regulations to create the boundary in which you should operate. So why should you break the law with impunity? That's my first question, Chair.
It's a very important question. Council Secretary.
Chair, if I may start from the last on the regular use withdrawal of fuel. Chair, I think for this one we've tried to clarify that it wasn't fuel like for personal use. This was during the periods of monitoring. That's when this fuel was being withdrawn.
What are the duties of a council chairperson? Some of the duties of a council chairperson?
Yes, Chair. Other than the ceremonies, he can also go and check projects. Like we have cited, Chair, here we have had situations where we have dignitaries coming from outside, and he needs to accompany these dignitaries during the visits to projects. So it's during these times that we would put fuel in that vehicle.
Can you be specific to this particular activity? What was this activity and which dignitaries visited? Who were moving in the council chairperson's vehicle?
Chair, we have Appendix 15. Maybe if I can refer to that one.
Let's go to Appendix 15. Yes, Appendix 15.
Yes, Chair. Maybe we go to page 110.
We are on page 110.
Yes, Chair. So during this time, this is the monitoring report. Is showing which people were available during this monitoring. Of course, we had the council chair, there was myself, there was also the district commissioner and the other councillors available during this visit. And we've attached the report.
Before you go to that,
yes.
What are the visitors, dignitaries that visited NAKONDE that prompted the council chairperson to use his vehicle and you had to put fuel contrary to the regulation? We are testing how you are adhering to regulations that are given to you. Can you point to which person who boarded the vehicle of the council chair that warranted you to put fuel?
Sorry, it's Chair, like I mentioned, the...
First, tell us on the list.
No, on this list, it was just the local team.
So, what prompted you? The council chairperson have their, council chairpersons and mayors have their allocation. They are given allocation whether they have a function or no function. So at that particular day, the vehicle for the council chairperson was empty. You had to put in fuel, breaking the regulation. For auditors to pick it, it was against the regulation. So how do you explain this? And you want to justify this? This is a serious issue. Irregular use of fuel. If the office or the vehicle of the council secretary was given fuel for monitoring, it's understood. Because you don't, even if you have a vehicle for that particular, you don't get monthly fuel allocation. This particular office, why did you get fuel away from the monthly allocation? What is it that we are trying to facilitate?
Thank you, Chair. Maybe I can clarify, Chair, on the allocations of fuel that comes with on the pay slip. This is basically to facilitate the movement from his home up to the office, but not for monitoring activities or any other activities that, because the other activities are project or maybe they are based on the activities. Each project will have that activity and allocation of any other resources that are available. So I thought I could make that clarification. And also, Chair, on page 108.
Let's exhaust page 110. This activity on 110, what was it?
Yes, Chair. So we
you read it. I want the people to be following us.
Yes,
read the activity on page 110, the one you referred to us.
Okay. So this one, Chair, this was proposed supply and delivery of 4,600 school desks, and the activity there was basically to go around and check on these projects in the various sites where they were being made from, and that was a list of members who went round. And the background, like I've said, is that we're supposed to receive 4,000 desks according to the contracts that were given in the district to different contractors. And we have the findings also as to what happened during this visit and the challenges that were there, because here there was some issues to do related to delays in terms of the supply of the desks. So it was a serious issue in the district, and that's why it prompted that the district commissioner, the mayor, myself, and the other related officers they required to visit all these places, because we had also called them for, of course, some meetings, but in this case we needed to go around to check where they're working from.
So I wanted to read what you have put on the cause of query. A quick one, I'll be very quick. Of course, it says management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wishes to clarify that the drawings of fuel, that means it was one drawing, it wasn't one, of fuel cited by the auditors was indeed to the council chairperson's office, which was being used to monitor projects, handover of projects, and furthermore, it should also be noted that some of the monitoring programs involved combined visits of heads of government departments and provincial officials who came to monitor projects, including PROGOs and PS. Is this the activities that the PS came for?
Chair, not this particular one. 109.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's look at the other query of irregular cash withdrawals on page 16, which has been highlighted by Honorable Pavyuma. What is your explanation where the council, contrary to the regulation is under Circular 1 of 2022, which states that, I want to read, no cash shall be withdrawn for payment of subsistence allowances, fuel, refunds, and any other allowance, as these should be paid directly into beneficiaries' account. Are you aware about this circular?
Yes, Chair.
What happened?
Chair, for this one, to be honest, we just have to apologize because, like we have stated there, we have acknowledged the auditor's findings. And
do you acknowledge the auditor's findings, or do you acknowledge the regulation?
Both.
So if the auditors did not pick it, you don't apologize. Why did you go against the regulation?
Chair, the acknowledgement and the apology would be that this practice is no longer being...
No. I said at that point,
yes.
Were you the council secretary and you approved these payments?
Chair, I was the council secretary this time, yes.
Who was the treasurer? Treasurer, may I get your attention? Who was the auditor then?
Chair, like I mentioned,
the auditor is the one who is...
yes.
Okay. The council secretary, may we hear from you? You are the financial advisor to the council. You have the regulation that sits on your table that guides you on whatever you want to do, especially on financial matters. Why did you allow this payment to be paid to yourselves, cash, instead of paying into the accounts as advised?
Thank you, Chair. Like the CS said, I wish to apologize on that one. And like you said, we went against this particular point, Chair. I think we are in an awkward position because there are other external members who are called to come for the
Where is attachment of the external members? And even for external members, does it say that you should break the law?
No, Chair, I was coming to that. We're not supposed to break the law. Like I said, when the external members attended the meeting, then we wanted to process the payment at that time. They didn't have...
I don't think that justification should hold. Sorry, DF. It's quite heartbreaking when we sit here and the Zambian people are watching. I'm sure you are transferred to Nakonde to another council. Where are you?
Chair, I'm in Masaiti.
You are now in Masaiti doing the same thing, and you come and apologize. You go against the law, the regulation, then you just come and apologize. Now, when you were doing this, what was coming to you? The regulation tells you, then you are doing the wrong thing. Then if you did that and you have just come to apologize over that serious financial matter, if you are seated here or you are government, this is taking place every year. For all information, I've sat here, this should be my 4th year as a member of the Local Government Accounts Committee. You remember the issue of receipts and the tracks that are not being accounted for in Nakonde? Every year, Nakonde has such matters. If Honorable Mulunda Olomitete MP was here, would say the same. And you are the same officers who have been appearing year in, year out. And you do this. What punishment would you be expecting from those who supervise you if you break financial regulations? If you, just a quick one, would you be happy if the government or those supervisors, they discipline you, or you'd complain? Yes, we can.
Chair, like I said, we apologize.
On this one, would you be comfortable if those who supervise you, they know? You see, these are public resources, honorable members. Then with impunity, as it has been said by Honorable Pavyuma, you indulge yourself into this when you know the regulation. What would you expect? Would you be comfortable if the supervisors, those who supervise you, they do this? Because NAKONDE is year in, year out. What I'm saying here, you can record it even next year as you appear. Even you check your report for last year, these things are happening. Because NAKONDE is a cash cow, a lot of money from the border. So issues of accountability, they are thrown in the wind. You can do whatever you feel like. How about the other question?
Chair, maybe before we go to another question, on the same one, on the cause of query which you just read, they've indicated that heads of government departments like provincial officials, the PS, DC, PLG, using the evidence that they've provided, can you show us evidence that indeed these officials came? Because I've looked at your evidence, it's not indicating anywhere where you had these officials. All the people we are seeing is yourselves visiting the office of the mayor, office of the DC. So, which document?
Council Secretary.
Chair, if I can allow my Director Planning to help me.
As the DF is perusing for the evidence. Okay, DF, continue. It's appendix what?
Thank you, Chair. If we can go on page 108, appendix 15.
Okay, let's go to appendix 15.
Yeah, so there was a program by the Provincial Constituency Development Fund Committee. They were going around the districts in Muchinga province to do backstopping or conduct monitoring activities for CDFC. I mean for CDF activities. So that is the program. That's one of the programs that I think the council chair was part of to accompany that team.
Okay, noted. My heart is, I need to manage this. I wanted to ask the conscience of the council secretary and the treasurer of now Masaiti. Do you know that this which you did can land you into prison in other countries? Do you know that this what you did can land you into prison? Not here where you are transferred. Contrary to the regulations, money are being taken and you sign. Do you know that? Council Secretary.
Yeah, Chair, like I mentioned, here we are.
You are aware?
Also, yeah, we are also of any response other than just to apologize on what happened, because this was just a payment, I think, for the external members who came from outside. And this practice does not happen.
Let's look at the other one on page 15. Honorable Pavyuma raised an issue, irregular use of letters of transfer to process payments. I've seen the appendices, the letter that, the circular that came, or the letter that came from Secretary to Treasury indicating. Now, I want to ask you, this year, the year under review is 2023. The whole year, the Minister of Finance did not have these letters where you were forced to use payments.
Chair,
It says contrary to the circular is number 1 of 2020 that requires payments to be made using checks and electronic fund transfer advice, EFTA forms. And these EFT forms were not there. So the council made the payments using, is it cash payments? It was bank transfer? It was bank transfer contrary to the circular. 9 payments amounting to 69,552 kwacha using letters of transfer. I wanted just to find out, was the entire year 2023 up to the time of audit, which was somewhere in 2024, these EFTAs were not at Ministry of Finance? I just wanted to get your clearance.
Yes, Chair, we couldn't obtain any during this period under review.
Okay. Next question.
Now, Chair, if they were not there, is there any provision in the law that they should go against the raise down procedure?
They were guided. That one, they were guided.
No,
and
the guidance, Chair, if you look at it closely, that is a letter for 2025, meaning during that period, such a letter never existed. That letter was written in 2025. So everything that come under 2025 are the ones that are guided.
Yeah. I don't know what is why we are not paying attention to NAKONDE. NAKONDE needs attention, not only now, even before. If my brother was here, the two brothers who have been on this committee, NAKONDE needs a serious attention. So this was an opportunity to do what they did. Let me allow Dr. Mwanza. Are you ready? If not, I've got several also, but I'm chairing. Go ahead.
I'll ask 2 general questions concerning the projects, delayed completion of projects in NAKONDE. Delayed projects in NAKONDE are on page 1 through to page 14. There are 14 projects, and most of them, Chair, the projects contracts have been terminated, and procurement is underway. So these are 2023 projects, but procurement is underway now after terminating these contracts because of lack of performance of contractors. The total cost in terms of what Council had prepared to fund these contracts is 6,460,786 kwacha. That is
14 projects.
Yes. So, looking at that 3/4 of them, only 2 actually have been completed, but the balance are under procurement. So, looking at the financials, that the total cost is 6 million, almost 6.5 million, which is almost half of the 2023 capital community projects component, which means that which means that now the projects will be completed end of 2025, because I guess that they are even getting some funds to top up on these projects, and also to pay for arbitration, because some of them have gone for arbitration. My question, or what I want to seek for clarification, is what is the cost escalation, estimated cost escalation on implementing these projects, because you have not provided any insight on this procurement which is underway. Are you procuring using the balance on the contract, on the initial contract, or you have recouped these projects and it's a revised cost? First of all, this question.
Start with that one.
Thank you very much, Chair. Although the best would have been maybe to go project by project, because the okay. Yes, Chair, but generally, like it has been put, Chair, it's not all the projects where we have like given a new scope. The scope basically, by and large, most of them have remained the same. Where we've requested for extra funding is because the remaining amounts may not, after assessment, there is not able to complete the scope that was initially envisaged to be completed. So as a result, we needed just to add, to request for extra funding to ensure that what was initially targeted is able to be achieved. But the rest of the projects, we are still able to work within the amounts which were there. Some of them we changed where we realized that the amounts remaining are not enough to procure a contractor. We have used a force account, and I think I mentioned I think one or so on the same, where we utilize the labor from the council to complete the projects, because maybe just a few materials that are remaining, then all that you need is just a bit of labor, and the project is completed. So generally, Chair, I think that's what I would say by and large.
Yeah, the council, this is, I think you are coming closer to Isoka. Isoka and yourselves and your neighbors. I was telling you that you are one of the few in terms of these projects. You see the way I read myself in the night. These are, and I'll go to them individually. You have also brought out a very good issue. There are 14 projects indicating a failure on the part of engineering and the council in general to monitor or to supervise projects. That is a clear confirmation. If 2023, some of them are 2022, correct? There are one or two which are 2022. If you have failed to supervise them from that time, now they are still being procured. These are 14. Now, if you add those for 2024, they will be procured in 2026. And when NAKONDE is being put there, you do feel that things are moving well. Now, this is the situation. How do you prefer force account on council employees who have failed to supervise the projects to undertake now a project? One of the two projects were labor-based. You cancelled, even you failed to execute a labor-based contract from labor-based to force account. It is only should be page 4, page 3. This is the it starts from 3. Delayed completion of works, completion of 1x2 classroom block at Irenda Primary School, and this is just a 1x2. When you look at the way you have put up your narration, very difficult to see that is labor-based. But when you look at the action taken, management terminated the labor-based contract and completed the project using force account. Now, for the people out there who may not understand labor-based is where the council gets involved. They buy materials and procure a contractor, a bricklayer, to finish up the works. You contract labor, those who have the expertise to finish up. That is labor-based. Force account, meaning that you also procure the materials and use now the council employees to execute the same, which is almost the same. Now, if you, a bricklayer, you are saying you have a director engineering, a project of a 1x2 classroom block at Ilenda, labor-based, where you are in charge of procuring all these materials, you bring to site. The bricklayer is just doing the work. You fail to do that, and you even terminate a labor-based. Where is the capacity of the engineering department? May I speak to the engineer here? Who is the engineer? Sir, how do you explain?
Thank you very
14
much.
projects faced. How do you fail? Fail 14 projects, then when you look at that, then come to this particular one I've asked.
Thank you very much, Chair. The 14 projects, Chair, indeed, they were delayed. However, those projects that were not that had not made significant progress by the 2nd of February 2024 are those 6 that were terminated. However, the rest of the projects, through different measures like pushing contractors to complete these projects, as well as the methods that CS earlier alluded to, which is force account, we use those methods, and Chair, we've completed them. If you look particularly for this project, which is completion of 1x2 CRB, Chair, at Irendela, if you look at the outstanding works during the period of audit, the auditors, they are citing that the outstanding works were electrical finishes. So, Chair, these finishes, the actual bulbs, the sockets, and the switches were already procured. But then we had involved this labor-based contractor on several occasions to complete the works, but to no avail. That's why it was easier, Chair, to use even force account to just get our electricians to go and install these fittings that we are missing for this particular school.
Any financial implication?
Nothing, Chair.
Same amount?
Same amount.
We go to another project. Dr. Mwanza?
Maybe I just take advantage of...
Chair, before maybe proceed to another project.
Yes,
I have a serious concern, Chair. 14 projects are too huge. This is not just a mere delay. I think here there is politics. So maybe we learn from CS and his team. Who are you trying to fail here? Is it the president? Is it national politics or constituency politics? Who are you trying to fail here? Maybe.
That question cannot be admitted. We are here as a committee. We were not involved. This is a technical class. They know what they are trying to do. So, Council Secretary, you see how emotional it is, because people start thinking otherwise. Because you see, when the president says, this is the money, 2022, 25.7 million. 2023, 28.3 million. 2024, 30.6 million. 2025, 36.1 million. Has it happened before? What is the message of the president? I want to develop Nakonde. I want to develop Kaumbwe. I want to develop Dundumwezi, Chasefu, and all the constituencies. You, the council workers, you are going to be using these. Procure projects. Now, you are told that these projects should be procured at a reasonable price. completed within a reasonable. Then the engineer says by 2024 some of them had completed after audit or before audit. So he's comfortable, he's not listening to what the president is saying. And even you in your presentation, this one has since been, you are not looking at depriving the people of Nakonde who were excited to hear that the project at Irendera will be given to them. So for you, as workers, you are comfortable. Whatever the government or ever, you don't mind. So I didn't want to allow that because it is out of our terms, because people start thinking deep. Now let's go to the next. You'll be given a chance to respond. As you respond, you talk about. But we wanted to give you, we are speaking to your souls here. And some of you, you feel uncomfortable when you talk like that. Why does that man talk like that? Because the business as usual, the culture that has been in you, is to work the way you have been working. You're not moving with change of time. The government changes, is saying let us work. You are still in gear 1, the government now is in gear 5. So you start wondering, the vehicle will break. We just had a very good council yesterday. And if in Nakonde you can go to Mafinga, you will learn not what you are doing. Maybe to take you away and bring other people to work there. Dr. Mwanza.
Let's just sample one on project management, page 1. The delayed completion of works at the 1x4 construction of an office block at Donald Swale Technical Secondary School, phase 2.
Yeah.
So this contract was given at a contract price of 283,452. Completion 3 months, commencing 16 January 2023. This could be maybe a 2022 funding.
Yes,
I'm not
this
so
is the
sure.
one I was talking about.
Yeah, and then ending on 15th April. So the scope of works is as outlined, and then by July 2024, that is almost almost a year after the completion of April 2024. In July 2024, the contract had been paid 163,291, leaving a balance of that. So what the contractor was paid was 58% of the contract sum. And the contract ended up being terminated, and it is now under procurement. We can check the action on page 2. The contractor is being sued for 79,000 kwacha to pay back for the final account. So this project, we are given data on appendix 1. So we go to the notice of termination of contract. This contract was terminated on 2nd February 2024. According to the letter. It is letter number 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes. It is letter number 6, the termination letter. It was written on 2nd February. So, following contractual management and the timelines, this letter on the second paragraph says that be reminded that your contract expired on 10th April 2023. And despite being given several extensions of times to complete the project is still very behind schedule in terms of completion. So this was the reason why the contract was terminated. But the key words here that I read is Be reminded that your contract expired on 10th April 2023, and despite being given several extensions, I would love Council to give us one exhibit in their in Appendix 1 where they granted extension for this particular contract.
And note, members, this contractor was called Colimas Investments.
Yes.
And we take interest on the Colimas investment in relation to Donald Siwera Technical Secondary School. This was office block was given to Colimas. Now let's go to Appendix 1. October 2023. That's what I want you to pick. I don't know why. This one is for the next project, which is at White Week. But take note of that. Then there is another letter the council wrote to, it was Colimas. Colimas now wrote July 2023. Look at the date. And Colimas was referring to a letter written to him on the 21st July 2023. Now, the letter to Colimas by the council is dated 24th August 2020. Is for the construction of what? To Colimas. Request for extension of contract number so, completion of 1x4 classroom block at Donald Siwera Technical Secondary School in Musiani Ward. When I read the contract on page 1, is delayed completion of works, construction of an office block at Donald Siwera. But the council was extending a 1x4, a letter to extend the contract for a 1x4 classroom block. Me, it couldn't add up. Are we together, yes? Yes, the office block at this school, is it the same as a 1x4 classroom block?
Thank you very much, Chair. So this is a block that has an office in the middle, then 2 classrooms this side and 2 classrooms this side.
You call it an office block?
It's actually...
Read on top. First read page 1. Page 1. Delayed what? Read yourself, director. So that we are moving together. Page 1. Page 1 is the first page.
Chair, it reads delayed completion of works construction of an office block at Donald Siwera Technical Secondary School Phase 2.
To me, a layman, when they say construction of a CRB 1x2, it comes with an office. And they don't say construction of a classroom block with an office. When they say construction of a 1x3, it comes with an office on the middle. So when you read this construction of an office block, this is a different definition. It's an independent office block. Now, you are extending a contract for a construction of a 1x4 classroom block CS?
Yes, Chair. Maybe I can clarify because, like on page 1, the narration is as it comes as picked by the auditors, so that we can't change.
Can you see the block which is in picture? Is it a 1x4 classroom block? CS, go to page 1.
Yes, I'm on page 1, Chair.
Is that an office? Is it a 1x4 classroom block?
Thank you very much, Chair. Yes, Chair, this is the same block. If you see the photo on the left, you could actually see the green roofing sheets for the 2 classrooms on the left. Then the auditors, they just concentrated on the office block. That's why they took the photo like this. And these photos were captured by the auditors. I submit, Chair.
So what you're saying, first in your presentation you said there are 2 classroom blocks, and then the office is in the middle. And then the office is in the middle.
In the middle.
Which is a typical description of maybe a 1x2 classroom block, yes, or a 1x3 classroom block, 1x4. Which Chair even said when we're doing construction of a 1x2 classroom block, we don't say construction of an office block. So from the picture here, you are saying the left picture that you can see the 2 windows and the door. Is this an office or is a classroom block? This with plaster.
That is the office in the middle, Chair. That's the office in the middle.
This in the middle.
Yes, that's the office in the middle.
You're not fair to this committee.
Honorable
Mr. Kazinga, you are a witness on behalf of the Minister of Law Government. Do you have this report? Switch off the mic, Doc. We want your wisdom. What are you seeing there? Is that a middle part of a 1x4 classroom block?
Well, Chair, this structure is a bit obscured because it has an elevation and these 2 windows. I don't know what is in the middle, whether it's a door. It's a door, I'm sure, maybe. Then on the left, I think I can see some structure that side, which also has a window elevation. But now maybe picking, I don't know, maybe Chair with the guidance from AG. I think since this is their material, maybe
AG,
guide us.
Okay, thank you so much. I think the time when we went on the ground, this was in phases. I think if you look at even the contract sum, it can't do for a 1x4 classroom block. So it was specifically for that component as phase 2. So what was the query is about the office block. In as much as the other phases, we are doing the other part of the classroom block. I submit.
Yes. And if you look at this, whatever design, you can't have the door, even if it's a 1x4, at the end. I will never see a classroom block, whatever standard, not in Zambia, which a 1x, it's like this, eh? This is a block, eh? All the doors and windows, they are on one side, here. The offices will be, you can't have a class which has a door over on a 1x4, which has a door at the end here, and 2 windows. So when we read these things, we analyze them. Where is the board going to be if this is a what? So that is one thing that we wanted to show you. Now, I wanted to, over the same, as just a short one before you come in. Have you seen the letter and the date? The letter that I was reading is dated August. Request for extension is dated August 2023. You as a council, you are responding to a letter dated 28th July 2023. The letter from Colimas is dated 17th October 2023. But you as a council, you are responding to a letter from Colimas. The actual letter from Colimas, he was requesting for extension in October 2023. But your what? Your response, or maybe your letter is dated August. Before Colimas could write his letter requesting for extension. What did you say, Director Engineering, on the two letters? October 2023, when Colimas request for extension of contract is dated 17th October 2023. Your response, request for extension of a contract, is in August. Which one comes first, August or October? Director Engineering.
It's August, Chair.
So you were responding before you could write.
Chair, on the same letter.
Switch on your mic.
Chair, on the same letter, which we responded and gave this extension, if you see the reference is made to the above subject matter and your letter dated 28th July 2023.
Where is the 28th July? Doctor?
I think
Switch off your mic.
My question, which hasn't been answered, is that when we look at the termination letter on Appendix 1, you are referring to have given this contractor several extensions. Can you prove through this correspondence that you have attached in Appendix 1 that you granted at least one extension? Because when I've checked these letters, you have all rejected the request from the contractor for extension of contract. One. Then two, this contract is as cleared by the AG office. It is basically just specifically the office block. The completion and the scope of work is just roofing, wall, and the scope of work is on page 1. Scope of works included roofing, wall and the floor finishes, installation of doors and window frames, glazing, electrical works, painting, decoration, and external works. The time that the auditors got this picture, we can all see that the outstanding works are roofing. On the same page 1, the outstanding works included the roofing. You can see the picture which is on the left-hand side. It is not roofed. Installation of doors.
That's why there's a door.
You can see there's no door. It's just a door frame. And the two window frames. Two window frames. You can see the window. You can see the two windows. There's no glazing. And the electrical works, painting and decoration and external works. When you look at these outstanding works and the initial works, they are the same. There's no difference. The question is, how was the contractor paid 58% of the contract sum? What was the works that were done by the contractor to warrant the payment of 163,231 from the 283,000 kwacha? That is why now you can see that the contractor is being chased to pay back 79,000 kwacha, which is now under arbitration. So how did you pay 58% of the contract without any work? Nothing was done. Because when you compare the works, the initial scope of work, and the works that were outstanding
Nothing moved. How did you pay the 58%? So 2 questions. One, did you ever give an extension of
To
time
this contractor?
To this contractor? If so, where is the evidence? Second one, the
scope of work
the
and
scope
the-
of work and the outstanding, the initial scope of work and the outstanding works are the same. What made you pay 58%?
Thank you. Allow them to respond.
Yes, Chair, I will ask my director to help.
Thank you very much, Chair. For this contract, so 25% was paid as an upfront. It was advance.
Go ahead.
Yes, then the proceeding IPC, which was IPC number 2, we deducted part of advance that was paid, and the remaining was paid to the remaining was paid to a contractor. Then from there, I think it was only up to IPC.
Don't think, look at the picture and the scope.
The Chair, from there.
As we are picking from here, if you look at the scope, he has read, take note, Council Secretary. When he's reading, when you read the scope, it is exactly the way it is. The scope, this was a completion. You needed to do roofing, glazing, fixing of doors and electricals. At the time of audit, the auditors picked this. Nothing was moving in July. And when you see this, it was not roofed, meaning that the scope of work that was in the contract has remained the same. Now, you made some payments. What were you paying for? One, he has said very well, 25% mobilization. Did he mobilize?
Yes, they mobilized.
Did he do the work?
Yes, they mobilized, Chair, and some works were done. As you can see,
What was done?
Yes, what was done was completing of the block work, then plastering externally.
Look at it, read the scope. Let's go to the scope. Doc, let him go to the scope. The first scope on page 1. What was the scope of work?
Chair, the auditors are saying the scope of works included.
No. You. We shall chase you. And we can make serious recommendations. We are a serious team here. Read the scope. The auditors picked, what they picked is what we are reading. We are not manufacturing. What is the scope?
Chair, the scope is roofing, wall and floor finishes, installation of doors and window frames, glazing, electrical works, painting and decorations, as well as external works.
Is that building roofed?
No, Chair.
Doors are fixed?
No, Chair.
Glazing is done?
No, Chair.
Now, why do you bring brickwork? Where is the brickwork? Here.
The initial scope is saying wall and floor finishes. Wall finish is not
brickwork.
laid.
Council Secretary, you don't need to be an engineer. When you look at this, and you look at this building, it's like it was not done. Monies were paid. The question is, where did you base the payment? Bring the IPC of the second payment. As you show us the IPC of the second payment, we are dealing with public resources here. The first payment was advance. When he got advance, did he mobilize? The engineer is saying yes, he mobilized. To do what? That which has not been picked here. The time the auditors went and they took this picture, there was no movement. The scope remained the same. And when they were doing the DAP, you agreed with this. Council Secretary, I'm speaking to you. Are you getting me? You don't need to be an engineer or technician here. When you look at this, by virtue of your office, were there works which were done here, according to the scope?
Yes, Chair. I should say, Chair, that there were some works that were done. Maybe as the auditors, the narration of the scope, the initial scope, which they have narrated here, it may not be exactly how it was supposed to be.
So if you were yourselves were here, what would you base your analysis? Is it to follow what you are telling us, or you to follow what is there?
Chair, you are 100% correct. You would base what is recorded here.
And that's what you are supposed to do.
Exactly. But I would want to submit that works were done after the 25% was paid to the contractor. He did some work. However, we saw that there was no progress that was happening, and that's how we proceeded to do the termination.
And you had an engagement with auditors. Now you want to come and accuse auditors here. We are not going to allow. You are not a serious council. During the time that they were doing these exit meetings, they were doing the DAP, we should have said, no. Actually, this was the scope of work. You never did that. Then you come here, you want to argue, say, no, it's the auditors. That will not be allowed. Show us the letters of termination, or maybe the letters of extension. Show us the letters, because there's a lot of engagement with this contractor. Show us. No, they have. I told them to pick any paper that you think is there. Show us. Director engineering.
Yes, Chair, I must admit that the letters for extending the contracts, they have not been attached to the evidence before this committee.
So, what did you expect this committee to do? To follow what? Next question.
So now, how do you explain this letter of termination? Because it is saying you are reminded that your contract expired on 10th April 2023, and despite being given several extensions. So you have just said you never gave an extension because it was not even attached to this as evidence. So was this contractor, why? Why did you terminate based on false extensions that are not attached in your presentation?
And you see, like it's a well-arranged system. All the 14 contracts, you have one reason, non-performance by the contractor. And this is the engineer who was there. And the council, all of you were there. All the 14, non-performance of the contractor, despite several engagements. Bring the letters of engagement. You only bring copies that you have just manufactured now yourselves. From your side, you bring your copies. Now, if you are engaging, is it true that these contractors are not responding to you? The other one is on page. It's on page. There are so many. Let me just pick one. Delayed construction of a health post at Inteko, page 4. The initial contract sum was 1.4 million, 1,450,000, given to Valley Investment Limited, April 2023. It was expected to be completed in October 2023. As at 31st July 2024, the contractor had been paid amounts totaling 1,394,694, leaving a balance of 65,000 kwacha. 65,306. I presume this is what you call retention. A physical inspection of the project carried out in July 2024 revealed that the works had not been completed 8 months after the expected completion date. The outstanding works included ceiling works on the veranda. It was also observed that the ceiling was sedging in the wards, and the electrical connections to ZESCO had not been done. I will leave out the ZESCO. You will tell me that it was another contract. I wanted to say, how did you pay this contractor, Valley Investment, all the monies before he could do the sitting on the veranda? Council Secretary.
Chair, could I just allow my director to respond?
Director.
Chair, from the 65, this 65, Chair, for this one, I would love to refer to the last IPC to see exactly if this ceiling was actually paid. And Chair, just to make mention on this contract, we had also given extra works for this contract. That was the construction of the second septic tank.
Nakonde. The variation that you did, we're not talking about that. We're talking about this one. That was valued at 1,450,000. You paid substantially when you saw, because what we believe here, I don't know in Nakonde, for you to pay a contractor, you go and do a physical check. And you are satisfied that the works have been done, or the scope has been done. When you are satisfied, that's when you go and do. And there is audit, and even some councils which are doing very well, even the finance person will go to certify that indeed the works on site are done. Then let's sign. Even you, Council Secretary, you go to satisfy yourself. But this particular contract at Inteko, the veranda, the entire veranda, the ceiling was not done. And you have paid this contractor. What is the motivation in Nakonde?
Maybe, Chair, I just want to clarify that for the works like the sagging of the ceiling, I think
in the words, I'm talking about the veranda first.
Yes,
I want you to be, you see, we are moving with the listeners. I don't want to be sounding that to be unfair to cutting you. Before I hand over, the ceiling in the words is sagging. I've not talked about that. I want you to address the issue of the veranda which had no ceiling. Then you paid this contractor. Don't go to the sagging. What motivated you to pay?
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, even on the delays that have been cited by the Council for this particular project, there is an issue of additional works for the septic tank.
No, me, I want to beg you, my brothers. Can you switch off your mic? I want you to answer a specific short question. Bwana Director, if I can address you like that. These are public resources given to us by the government. There is this, first and foremost, Nakonde has poorly performed. Poorly. 14 projects, if you look at them, you look at this report, you'd wonder what you are doing there. Now, this specific contract, you pay a contractor, let me say 100%, minus the retention. That means you have cleared this contractor. Meaning that The remedial works, the sagging of the ceiling in the wards can only be done using the 5% retention. But this veranda, where completely a ceiling is not done, and you go and certify and authorize payment, full payment to this contractor, what motivated you? CS.
Yes, Chair. I was trying to recollect, Chair, of this matter, but what is being referred to as a veranda, that's an ambulance bay, and it wasn't part of the scope that it should be, it should receive ceiling. And like I mentioned, this project actually has since been completed and is handed over.
We are not saying that. You see, whatever we read here, you want to change. No, that's what you are reading. Even if it is looking like an office, you know it's not an office, it's a 1x4. Again here, we are reading what has been put here by the auditors. A veranda for the health post. You want to change, no, it's an ambulance bay. There is no ambulance bay in the scope here. If it is there, it was going to be specific. As Council Secretary, we are asking you about this payment that you made before rescoping. You brought in the extra septic tank, ambulance bay, which would want to see where is the authority for those additions, the scope of work, and how much was the cost. If this only building was costing 1.4 million, what type of a health post is this? At 1.4 million, that now you are to get more money to do ambulance bay, to do septic tanks. That's what you are saying by your submission. The director says there is another septic tank. That means there was a variation that we missed out. You said a septic tank, isn't it? Yes. That means it was not part of this scope. You said extra one. That means there was more money put on this same project. The ambulance bay that the council secretary has mentioned, that is more money on the same project. Again, you are refusing, you people.
Maybe, Chair, I can clarify if you allowed me.
Dr. Mwanza, maybe you can be more technical than me.
Yeah, I think from the action on page 5, the engineers they did add a second septic tank at this location. So the first septic tank maybe was not adequate enough, so they added a second septic tank. Adding a second septic tank probably, definitely it has to come with a cost. This cost could have been absorbed in the contingency. There could have been maybe some contingency on the total contract sum, so it could have been absorbed in the contingency. So, of which this committee, we would like to see also the process, the authority on how you got to add the septic tank, the approvals. But talking about the financials, what you need to clear us, it can only be done through the last IPC. The last IPC. Because this 95% payment, it could have been payment also that included the septic tank, the works that were done on the septic tank. So it just provided an IPC, the last IPC, it solves this whole problem.
Let's have the IPC. We ignore the veranda, which you
so, Chair, like I was saying, I think we will need to then attach the last IPC, but like I was saying...
Don't attach, show us, because we want to prove. This matter is not rested, it's a very serious matter.
It's true, Chair, but to be honest, there is no veranda. What is there is actually an ambulance bay.
Can you...
And,
don't open that subject. You have a picture of the same. Then he sent the office now to send us the last IPC before we break. call your office to send us the IPC.
Okay.
The last IPC. Honorable Pavuma, you have another question? We move as they are looking for the drawing.
So, Chair, is Appendix 4?
Appendix 4?
Yes. It's the very last page of Appendix 4.
So which veranda there?
So, it's what is in front, Chair. That's an ambulance bay.
Yes, it's an ambulance.
It's not a veranda.
Is it supposed to have a ceiling?
No, it doesn't have a ceiling.
It doesn't have, but it was supposed to have a ceiling.
It wasn't part of the scope.
So when auditors were doing this and you signed the DAP, you didn't see that they picked issues of not including the ceiling? Council Secretary. As you are still pondering.
Yes, Chair. We addressed some of these issues with the Auditor General after seeing the way the report came out.
I don't suppose to start engaging you.
I know, Chair. I know.
You can make a comment if so.
Yes, Chair.
But
yeah, it's unfortunate that it is coming to this. But what I want to confirm, Chair, is that when we went for inspections, I think we had representation from the council. And what we did was, there's a form that we normally use, where both ourselves, the officer representing the office, as well as the officer representing the council, signs. I think all these matters that we cited as outstanding, both officers agreed and signed to that effect. Thank you.
We can tell from the 14 projects, you can see that there's no seriousness on behalf of the council. You have made these appearances routine. Because if it was a one-off issue, 2-3 queries, we have not even gone to the other part. But if you look at these projects only, you can tell, just looking at a report, you can tell what type of a council management it is. So you come now, you want to turn and say it's the auditors. The auditors don't just operate on verbal the way we are doing here. We want evidence, and someone will sign for it. We are aware about that. And someone from the council signed that this is the issue. Then today you want to run away. You don't go through your report, you just present. Because you saw 1.4 million. The scope means a bigger thing, the way we have seen in the picture. But if you paid 100%, then there is that omission of a ceiling. Then there is a saging ceiling. Okay, saging ceiling, it can be done using the retention. And now, because of time, I'll be reading. When you go to page 7, before another member comes in, just look at page 7. Another delayed works. Construction of maternity annex at Nyela Police, Nyela Health Post. And I want to thank the people of Nakonde, the WDCs. They realize that there is a gap in terms of health services. Most of these projects are to do with health. And if the people of Nakonde picked these, they were supposed to be concluded on time. Now, if you look at the same, I'll just go to the extensions that you do. The contract, this contract at Nyela was supposed to end on 6th August 2022. The contractor applied for extension, 2023. Thank you so much, Honorable Kamondo. 6th August 2023. That was the 4 months given to the contractor called Trascon. to do the project. As at 31st July 20, the contractor had not been paid amounts totaling 687,334, leaving a balance of 403. A physical inspection of the project carried out in July 2024 revealed that the works had not been completed 9 months after the expected completion date. The outstanding works, of course, interiors, wall tiling, all those issues as can be seen. Now, the question is, Council Secretary, the contract was supposed to end 6th August 2023. The contractor only applied for extension of time 22nd August 2023 after expiry of the contract. If you check the appendix, application for extension or confirmation of extension was only done 22nd January 2024. And I'm speaking to all of you on this particular health post at Inyela. Supposed to end in August 2023 on the 6th. The contractor only applies only 22nd August after expiry of the contract. Then the council responds to that contractor, Trustcon, January 2024. This one, what is the explanation on the supervision and the monitoring of the contract? Council Secretary.
I think, Chair, of course, there's a gap, I should admit. But Chair, like I mentioned...
You see, these words we use in English, gap, just say we failed. It's
yes,
better
Chair.
that way.
So Chair, like I was going to say earlier on, I know the picture painted and the way you've put it.
No, it's not me putting it. I'm reading.
Yes, Chair, because the 14 projects...
No, let's do one by one. Me, I told you that I'll be going one by one.
Yes, just no, I was just for this one, Chair, I was saying contract management has not been done well in this regard because of the dates given. So I was just extending, Chair, that I know that the picture that has been painted looks like it's gloomy, as if we are not doing well in terms of project management for NAKONDE. But I can assure you, Chair, that there is quite a significant improvement in the way things have been done coming current. And I know that you are visiting NAKONDE soon, and we'll attest to this, what we are saying now, including all those issues of financials. It's not the same, Chair.
When you fail to deliver a project on time, January to December 2023, you have 14 projects. Even time of audit, which is in the ensuing year, months at the time of closure of audit, these are still outstanding. To us, what else do we? Then you want to come and say, we finished. But you finished way after 1 year, 6 months. A project, a 1x2 classroom block, money is there, given to you. It's not an issue of money. These failures, I want to tell you, government has done its part. These failures are human by the council officers in NAKONDE. Nothing to do with money, political will, money released, council workers are failing. So we are picking them, because for you, you are saying, no, we have since completed. It's in use. After 2 years, the value for the same, even the variations that have been done, they have costed money. Changing because of lapse of time. So for you, that's why I said that this may sound unfair to you, because you are used to the old culture. Expecting you to work is too much. Expecting you to say, 4 months you agree this project to be done, money is there. For you, that is too much. That's why I'm saying that we are painting a gloom picture, but as we are reading this, Yes, yes.
Yes, Chair. Like I mentioned, Chair, I know the report may look like this for this period, but like I mentioned, Chair, we are dealing with the local contractors who have not been used actually in the execution of these projects, and we are trying and we've tried to groom them so that they can do better in terms of project execution. This has contributed partly to the delays. It's not the issues of money, but it's the issues of the human resource or maybe the contractors that we have, the local contractors that we have locally. So, Chair, like I mentioned, the picture is not the same. The way the projects are being managed, the current projects that we are
I'm not
running.
being unfair. We are dealing with the report here.
Yes, Chair.
Not what we have not seen.
Yes, true, Chair.
Sorry, forgive us. Vouch for this. Shangombo, a rural council, they have got credible contractors than Nakonde. Mwense, a rural council. Vubwi, a rural council, they have got good contractors than Nakonde. That is not an excuse. We have got shining examples. Before I ask Dr. Mwanza, I will read another one, short one. Delayed completion of works, construction of 1 by 2 classroom block at Munsani community. 1 year delay. Delayed for 1 year after the completion date. This is 2023. Munsani community is in Nakonde. I'm reading page 8. I'm not talking about other things that you are doing now better, where we cannot confirm. Better is this. You are defined by this. I've just read that one. I will read another one. Delayed completion of works, construction of 1 by 3 science laboratory at Shem Secondary School. Your cause of query, the delayed completion, construction of 1 by 3 science laboratory at Shem. I will read this. A physical inspection of project carried out in July 2024. From January 2023 to July 2024, revealed that the works had not been completed 16 months after the expected completion date with those outstanding works. Management requested the contractor for an acceleration plan, and the project is now complete. Why didn't you ask for an acceleration plan when you just started if you are monitoring? 16 months, 1 year, 4 months, depriving the service to the people through their WDCs who cried, we want a classroom block, we want a science laboratory in Nakonde. For you now, we said the project is now complete because you had an acceleration plan. That acceleration is not acceleration. 16 months is acceleration. I'm just reading them as I want to conclude, so that you see, you go back and say, see what happened. The other one is on page 10. Construction of an ablution block at Tindi Primary School. Management, in your cause of query, management wishes to state that the delay was attributed to inadequate capacity by the local contractor to complete the project. A project is supervised, and there is engagement, verbal and written. At which point did you realize that this project was not running well? Then there is another one, rehabilitation of 14-kilometer road in Luchindewad. I want you to look at the picture. That which is done by yourselves, you even fail. That's why when you say force account, I have a problem. The council embarked on a 14-kilometer of Luchinde road using force account. at an approved amount of 414,975 for a period of 6 months, commencing on May 5th, 2023, ending November. The scope of works included grading, graveling, and compacting of the road. As at 31st July 2024, you spent 407,684. A physical inspection of the project revealed that the works stored after working on 10.4 kilometers of the roads. Inquiries with management revealed that the works stored in December 23 due to heavy rains. However, as at August 2024, the works had not been resumed. Even after the rains, in August the following year, works were not done by yourselves, force account. The Wadi Council Secretary we have, do you realize these are public resources? And the expectation of the people of Nakonde and the people of Zambia on you people is very high. You are the channel of development. The government has said we are going to develop this country using CDF and the councils. That's why this is the issue we are bringing now. So if you feel that then you know if you know the expectations, you apply yourselves very well. But if this is business as usual, even the 2024, before we are dissolved, you find us. And I can assure you Nakonde will be there because I have history. Supply and delivery, installation of solar. This is another serious issue. On page 12, if you read this, the contract was for 400,000. As at 31st July, the contract had been paid amounts totaling 99,900, leaving a balance of so. And if you look at the contract was terminated due to contractor being absent from site and slow progression. This matter has gone to arbitration, meaning that you failed to recover the money. You are trying to use now arbitration. Then another issue, we have already talked about irregular use of cash. Now, when you come from projects that are like that, then you see irregular use of cash. What comes to you is that things are not being managed properly at Nakonde. This is what we wanted to highlight to you, that you are below par. And this is not for the purpose of grading. It is a question on your ability to run the council according to the expectations of government and the people of Zambia. My brothers and sisters, we have a government that is giving us money. Our role, we have been employed with our subordinates, is to ensure that when we report for work, we just do that which we are expected to do. They have given us a vehicle for monitoring. They have given us an administrative cost component that for you to do this, you should be using this money, 1.5 million, which comes to 1.4, to facilitate for us. Then you have this picture. And all these things started in 2022 when we had the change of government, which has brought money. 2022, you can say there's an excuse. 2023, you are saying we had a problem. 2024, it will be the same. Are we the right institution to administer this CDF? The answer is there's no question. Yes, we are. The beauty about it, if you see lapses in engineering, we are beginning to conclude there is a lot of collusion between the engineering department who are supposed to ensure that the standards of our projects are the highest standard, but they're the ones who are justifying that, no, even this ambulance bay should not have a ceiling. When you go to other nations or other jurisdictions, you see our friends. Sometimes they lack money. Now we have the money. Why don't we need to do the correct thing? When you look at the procurement chain in the CDF, the challenges is what you have. Those people involved, procurement, engineering, audit, and you check. On your own council secretary, check. There is a problem. For me, what I've picked with this interaction, you are not in charge. You are doing other things. You are not involved at all in CDF. Whether not only sitting, you are not even involved. Maybe they just use you to sign. Because if you are involved, this could not have been the case. Some of these lapses could have been avoided. You have taken CDF as a, by the way, one of those functions. You have other things to do. But the government has said no. CDF is one of the major functions that you are supposed to. And that is the essence why councils were created. If you don't know, councils were created to do just this. So as you go back, Council Secretary, it's an indictment on all of you. Dr. Mwanza, you want to demonstrate one thing? A quick one, as we ask them to leave, because there's nothing that we are getting.
Okay, page 10, the road. This road, 14 kilometers, and the council using force account. And so my question is, you know, this contract was from 5th May 2023, ending on November 4th, 2023, which is 6 months. And it was not done. 10 kilometers was done, but it was abandoned until their reason is that management wishes to state that the delay was attributed to the fact that earthworks are difficult to undertake during rainy season, and also that delay in the culvert installation was attributed to the high water levels at the points of installation. So between 5th May up to November, was it rain season in 2023 in NAKONDE?
Yes.
Chair, of course it wasn't rain season. By that time it is off the rain season, but the area is Dambo, and usually water subsidies after some time.
But your management response is saying that during the delay was because it is difficult to undertake earthworks during the rainy season.
Yes, Chair, we had, of course, a break. It rains a lot, actually. And this, like I said, it is a Dambo area. And during that time, we couldn't do much till the area dries up. And that's when we are able to execute. But although the Chair says you are always saying completed, these works were eventually completed. Yes.
Yeah, eventually, even after 3 years, they are completed.
No, Chair.
I'm just joking. But what we say is, what you said, November, then rain season comes. Again, August 2024, the works were not done, the remaining works. Then it was raining throughout up to August 2024 in NAKONDE. It rains too much. This is what we are talking about. This is what moves our emotions. Nothing else. Nothing personal. From here we are friends. Here is work. We have Zambia at heart. So if you don't do that, as we shall demonstrate to you. I would like to withdraw the immunity that was earlier conferred on you. That as you go back, we shall be visiting NAKONDE, and we shall not tell you which project we shall visit. We shall sample. You give us all the projects, then we shall tell you, we shall just know that we are coming. and the NAKONDE is one of them, to see that which you have done very well. So we shall be your guests. Traveling messes. Thank you very much.
You are welcome, Chair. To NAKONDE, you will find us. And thank you very much, members.
We are inviting you for tea. After tea, the meeting is adjourned until tomorrow.
It's hard to drink tea, Chair.
You're still watching Parliament Television. The Committee on Local Government Accounts has just received submissions from NAKONDE Town Council that was led by the Council Secretary, Mr. Mutakela Kayonde, and they were making their submissions on the consideration of the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund CDF for the financial year ended 31st December 2023, and the committee has since adjourned until tomorrow at about 09:30. That's when the committee will continue receiving submissions from other councils. The Committee on Local Government Accounts has today received submissions from Lavushimanda Town Council, Mpika Town Council, and the last witness for today was NAKONDE Town Council. My name is Matiba Mkua. On behalf of the entire production crew, keep watching Parliament Television.